Good morning everyone, welcome back to the Kent Coast hike. Back here in Margate where I left off last time. We're on a 2-day hike today. We're going to be heading over to Deal, all the way through the Isle of Thanet. So across here, the tide's out at the moment, but there's the sandy beach of Margate. I'm going to head through town, around the corner there, towards Botany Bay. Today's going to be a day of sandy beaches and sunshine. Let's go. It's not faded, it just needs a polish. So Margate is a place with a lot of nostalgia. It's a place immortalised by Chaz and Dave in that episode of Only Fools and Horses where the bus blows up. And for me, it's my favourite place to come when I was a teenager. Just doing teenage things, you know, hanging about, getting into mischief. So I'm going to take you on a little walk around. I'll cue the music. Oh wow, look at this. What a coincidence. Cue the music, we'll have a little mooch about. So that's the whistle-stop tour of Margate over, just there by the lighthouse and the town over there. We're going to be heading this way along the coast. We've got to get a bit of shimmy on today. When I originally planned this hike, it was going to be a 2-day hike, Margate to Sandwich, about 28 miles or so, nice and simple, 14 miles a day, easy peasy. However, the weather forecast for tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, is thundery showers, heavy wind. Heavy winds, strong winds, whatever. So I've got to make it as close to Deal, my finish point, as possible, camp there and hopefully reach my end point by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So today we're going to be heading through 4 reasonably sized towns, one of them being Margate, the others being Broadstairs, Ramsgate and Sandwich, and then camping on the coast somewhere. It should be a great walk today, guys. Lots of sandy beaches. It's a lovely day today. Sunny but cloudy. It's pretty quiet. It's a Monday morning, so in case you were wondering why it's so quiet in Margate, that's the reason why. Dreamland Margate, the theme park area, wasn't open, unfortunately. So like many seaside resorts in the UK, Margate has fallen on hard times in recent 25 years or so. A lot of it has been neglected and fallen into disrepair. However, unlike some seaside resorts, Margate has sort of jazzed itself up a little bit. There's the art gallery that I showed you just back there, and they're making some efforts with the town centre. However, here's a perfect example of the neglect. I've no idea what this used to be, but I'm sure it's pretty grand back in its heyday. Another great example here, the old Lido. You see there's a sign there, it's still remaining. Bit Art Deco there. Not much artistic going on now apart from the graffiti. Still got a big pole there advertising the Lido. So for a good part of this stretch you've got the option, you can either walk down along the promenade next to the beach, or you can walk along here on the cliffs. These are the famous stacks at Botany Bay. I'm not sure how far you can walk along and if you can get back up on the cliffs, but we're going to go for a little explore anyway. I've got a feeling I'll walk right along the beach and I'll have to come back up to the exit, which is here. We'll go for it anyway. And here we are, just on top of the stacks here, just up on a cliff, just on that bench there having a little break. Mr. Seagull is having a look at my lunch, so I've got to be quick. This is where we reach another milestone in our journey. All the way from Woolwich we've been heading east. However, once we get around this corner here we'll be heading south towards France. Just here we have Kingsgate Bay, the Kingsgate Castle overlooking it. That was built by Lord Holland in 1760, the same guy who built Neptune's castle, or Neptune's tower, which we just passed. Unfortunately we can't go down that way, we have to walk along the road a little bit. Oops. Someone nearly crashed. Beautiful view there looking back.
We'll go and buy him one and then...
We're now at officially the easternmost point of Kent. Lovely, nothing out there but wind farms and yachts, and beyond that the Netherlands. And to commemorate this majestic statistic we have a pumping station. Yay! Some nice houses coming up here. We're now coming up to the more upmarket area of Broadstairs. So the very posh and very exclusive Ocean Drive means we have to walk inland for a little while. Now entering the main beach of Broadstairs, the one that's on all the postcards, Viking Bay. So the lift's only open till 5:15. But don't worry, there's some broad stairs to get you down. So we're still in Broadstairs. You can tell that by the size of the houses. Heading south now to our next stop, Ramsgate, and then we turn the corner a little bit and come back round again to our final target, Sandwich Bay, off there in the distance. Very 60s looking flats here on the seafront. Royal Sands Apartments looking a little bit more modern. Ramsgate tunnels, definitely worth a visit someday. Some more seaside nostalgia. Well, that's Ramsgate Harbour, guys. Loads to see and do here in Ramsgate, similarly to Broadstairs and Margate, but unfortunately we don't have the time. So onwards we go. One final look at Ramsgate Harbour. Well, this is the port of Ramsgate apparently. It's not exactly a hub of activity, very quiet. Well guys, we're up here on the cliff. We can't walk any further along here. Reaches a dead end pretty soon, so we're up here heading towards Pegwell Bay. We're actually heading west at the moment. We've got to head this way and then back round past Sandwich. I think that little industrial area there is the Sandwich industrial area, and then back out into the bay around here somewhere. And then tomorrow, on the very end of the horizon, is Deal Pier. That's where we're going to be finishing off tomorrow. But first off, we've got to head in this direction. There you go, there's the dead end there. Don't know if you can walk along now, the tide's out, but it looks very marshy and boggy along there, so I'd rather not risk it. Hopefully you can hear me with all the wind. It's certainly picked up a bit in the last couple of hours. It's a very nice walk, lots of grand buildings on one side and then the sea on the other. Lovely sunny day. I mean, look at this building here, absolutely beautiful, from a bygone era. They don't make them like that these days. I was pleasantly surprised by Pegwell Bay. Quaint, historic, quite splendid. And this replica Viking ship here, Hugin, it's spelled Hugin. It's a replica of a Viking ship that sailed here in the year 449, and this was brought here by the Danes in 1949, so on the 1500th anniversary. Well folks, this is originally where I was going to camp tonight, and would have been great. Look at this view. This is where the sun would have been coming up over by the cliffs over there, looking at Ramsgate. But you're probably wondering, why is there this big bit of concrete just by the sea? Well, this is the old Ramsgate hovercraft port. The hovercraft leave from here. I think this must be the car park, I'm not 100% sure. And head that way over to France, maybe Belgium. I'm not sure. France, Belgium, maybe both. It was even featured in the Michael Caine 1972, I think, film Black Windmill. No, I've never heard of it either. It was disbanded in 1982. They moved the hover speed over to Dover, and then the Channel Tunnel was built and hovercraft was no more since 2000. So in 40 years, most of the fixtures and fittings have been removed, but some still remain. However, as you can see, nature has really taken over. Didn't take long. We're now in the Ramsgate suburb of Cliff's End, which I'm going to award now the least imaginative name of any place on the Kent coast. The cliffs ended there, so they called it Cliff's End. Sandwich, yes please. I wouldn't usually be too thrilled about more mud and wetlands, but it's making a nice change from these sandy beaches. Also, it's very quiet along here as well. Well, it's been a nice little trail along Pegwell Bay, but we're now approaching Ebbsfleet, and this is where the trail gets a bit sucky, it gets a bit crap. We've got road walking all the way into Sandwich. This is because of the river, and there's no path alongside it. And this is going to take about an hour, I think. It's about 3.5–4 miles. Oh, that's a bit risky in this current climate that we're in today. Wonder how many customers they get. Not many from the Ukraine, I imagine. Anyway, here we are, Ebbsfleet. Our second Ebbsfleet of the journey. The last one was somewhere near Gravesend, and now we're heading towards Sandwich. 3.5 miles along this busy road. Yay! Well guys, it's just every bit as lovely as you'd imagine. There's a dam here, there's a rusty old ship with a Jolly Roger on it, and there's a skip company. That's right, a skip company. What a treat. Look what I've just come across, guys. It's only July the 10th today, so a bit risky. Oh, that one's got an ankle over it. We won't have that one. Let's try this one. Is it squishy? Yeah, it's squishy. It looks juicy. It's going to be tart, and it's going to be tart this time of year. Yeah. Bitter. Right, as we leave the busy dual carriageway and we head down the coast path down this quieter road, in fact a closed road, so that means we can walk right here in the middle of it. Brilliant. I'll tell you the story of the question I know you're burning to ask. Why did they name a town after sandwiches? Well, in actual fact, the humble sandwich was named by the Earl of Sandwich, John Montague, I believe his name was, in the 18th century, 1762 to be precise, as he was playing the game of cards, and his roast beef was ready, cooked for him by the chefs, but he didn't want to get up off his table because he was too busy playing cards. So he said, just stick the roast beef between 2 slices of bread, and there we go. That's how the sandwich was born. I really hope I can walk through here. road is closed, but what about the England coast path, eh? What about us pedestrians? Ah, yeah, it looks like we can go around. Excellent. Just as I was getting on my high horse. We're getting there slowly, guys. There's a private lake there, Stonar Lake. I think we're about maybe a bit less than a mile to Sandwich. From Sandwich we need to follow the river back out almost opposite where we were at Pegwell Bay to get back onto the coast path. So it's almost like one of those annoying creeks that we had before, you know, you go all the way in just to come all the way back out again. But once we're there, that's it, and it's early yet, so got plenty of time in Sandwich itself, and then to get set up and find somewhere to camp for the night. Should be a good one. It's a lovely evening. The sun is still high in the sky. This sign must be pretty old. West Germany. So that boat is the reason this bridge was at that angle, and all this traffic is backed up here. Thanks, Chief. Very cool piece of history, this, from the Cold War era. Rhine Patrol to keep out the commies. So I don't know Sandwich that well, so I'm gonna have a little walk around and probably do a musical montage and a few pictures. Let's go.
Wish that I could stay. Wish for this moment to never go away. But it's all in my mind, and though I know that there is nothing to find, you're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight in the misty light. While you roam in the streets all alone, and all you can see, thinking about what your life came to be. You're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight in the misty light.
So that was a most agreeable hour and a half, 2 hours in Sandwich the town. Now we're heading out to Sandwich the Bay. Once again, I nearly put myself in a food coma with the amount of fish and chips I ate. We've got now a few drinky drinks, a few snacky snacks, and we're off to Campy Camp. That sounded very camp. So walking alongside the River Stour here. This flows out to the North Sea where we're headed, and it goes all the way back through Sandwich, through Minster, through Surrey, all the way to Canterbury, and a little bit further, I believe. So right now we're walking between the road that we walked down earlier, the other side of the industrial area there. The River Stour is down here somewhere where all the boats are, presumably, and the beach is that way. I think there's a golf course as well. I was sitting amongst all these wetlands here, which is impassable on foot. Once again today, the England Coast Path has been really well signposted. Whoever it is that's putting all these signposts in place, planning the route, is doing a really good job. I have to take my hat off to them. Big up the England Coast Path planners. Well, I haven't seen anyone for miles. We're out of Sandwich now. You can see the industrial estate way behind us. It's just me and the birds. Not those kind of birds, these kind of birds. And the crickets. Can you hear the crickets? It's an interesting place. This is a national nature reserve up here, Pegwell Bay. I've got a feeling I'm going to be very isolated tonight, which is just the way I like it when I'm wild camping. One thing about river paths that I always forget is they always meander so much. We're going coast path this way, left. The sea is that way. We want to be by the sea. It's a coast path. I always look at maps and I go, oh, so I need to go from here to here. And yeah, that's what, about 2-3 miles or whatever it was. In this case, about 3 miles, I think, 3.5 maybe. When in reality, with all the meandering and everything, it's probably about 5. But for some reason, I've just got a mental block when it comes to rivers and meandering. Danger, 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 danger. If you could get over there, and if it wasn't sort of marshland, that would be a fantastic place to wild camp with the sun going down over the river here. Alas, we must continue this way. You can see Ramsgate off there in the distance. I'll just zoom in there for you. We're literally walking back to Ramsgate right now before eventually we'll veer off to the right over to the coast path. Thistles everywhere. You'd think I was in Scotland. Well, I've walked all the way from there, from Sandwich, past the industrial estate, up to there, around here, and now I'm coming back down here. And then I've got to go left, I think, to the beach, and then up a bit again, and then finally I'll be where I want to be. I'm glad I got out of Sandwich before nightfall though, because I've heard the people there are a bit inbred. Sorry people of Sandwich, that one's too easy. So I wasn't expecting to see this so close to the beach. Remember, this area was underwater 1500 or so years ago. Now I've got a pine forest here. Oh, this is beautiful, this little bit of forest here. I've been doing so much coastal walking, I forgot what pine trees look like. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. Wow, this is properly building up to be something special, I think. This is a bit jungly at the moment. I feel like I'm walking to the secret garden of Eden. Oh, it's a bit like that part in The Beach, the movie of the book with Leonardo DiCaprio, where they're walking through the jungle and they get to the cliff top and there's an amazing beach at the end. Oh, it's a bloody golf course. Got to negotiate our way around that. I think I'm actually on the golf course now. As you can see, there's a lone golfer over there. The beach is not far away. Can't wait to see it. Is it going to be sand? Is it going to be mud? Is it going to be pebbles? I don't know yet. Maybe a bit of all three. Alright guys, so Sandwich Bay exclusion zone for dogs. So we are here, Sandwich Flats, mud and sand, and then shingle, mud and sand. So let's go and have a look. Exciting stuff guys, we're discovering this together. Right, it looks and sounds like the tide's in, and we've got a mixture of sand and pebbles. And look at this. Look at this. Private beach just for me. Love it. Right, let's dip these pasty white feet in, shall we? I'm not going to go for a swim as I don't have a change of clothes or anything. Woo! That's cold. Icy. Ah, that feels good. These toes are pretty sore after all this walking, all these stretches of tarmac. Look at this. So happy right now. Hey. Well guys, I know I usually do these adventures solo, but I've got a friend with me tonight. I've got Sydney with me. Come and say hello, Sydney. Yeah, it's Sydney the shark. Yeah, he doesn't say much, doesn't really do much. He doesn't smell great either, but yeah, he's easy enough to camp with. He sleeps outside, so it stinks. Well guys, this is another example of when plan A goes wrong, plan B has turned out much better. I was going to sleep at the hoverport tonight and do a longer walk tomorrow, but the hoverport, as it turns out, it wasn't that interesting. It was just a bit of concrete and very overgrown, with very few of the fixtures and fittings that were originally there. So I've carried on here to Sandwich Bay, and it's great. Look at it, a secluded beach all for myself. And that wouldn't have happened if the weather wasn't rubbish tomorrow. So, you know, plan B does often work out better than plan A. Well, this is me folks, this is a brilliant way to spend Monday night. I have my drink here, Thatcher's Rosé. Yeah, I know, it's a girly drink, but after 20 odd miles of walking on a hot sunny day, this is like nectar. So not only is this a great private beach, but it's also a very important place both historically and geographically. So this place was underwater 1500, 2000 years ago, and over there was this was the Isle of Thanet, and this was the Want Some channel. You want some, I'll give it ya. It's now the River Stour, which spills out here into the North Sea. So this part wasn't here before, but this area and Richborough, which I believe is just here, is where the Romans first arrived in Britain, AD 43, here and in Chichester in West Sussex. So very important place both historically and geographically. A bit further inland there is a fort, a Roman fort, Richborough Fort I guess it's called. That is a bit off the coastal path and you have to pay to get in and stuff, so there was no time for that today. But yeah, it's amazing just being in this spot, imagining the boats coming over, Julius Caesar and his armies. Just amazing. So folks, that's me all set up by the charred log, quite away from the shore. Sun's going down over there, it's approaching 9 o'clock, almost sunset time. You can see the lights coming on over in Ramsgate, and the tide is going out a bit. So I think it's about time for me to say goodnight. It's an early start tomorrow morning. The sun will start coming up around about 4, well it start getting light around about 4. The sunrise time is about 4:45 I believe, so very early, unsociably early in fact. Then we'll be heading all the way down there to Deal, which is about 5.5–6 miles, so it's not too far at all. Should be there in time for a bit of brekkie before heading home, and it's back to work the following day. So I'm going to say goodnight now. Good night from me, good night from Simon. He looks happy, doesn't he? Simon, you're going back in the sea. Off you go, Simon. Please don't break. No, he didn't break. See you in the morning, guys.
Good morning, everyone. It's 20 to 5. I've been awake for about 20 minutes, just having a bit of something to eat. It's a little bit fresh, a little bit of a breeze in the air, hence I'm still in the bivvy. The sun's rising over there in Ramsgate, so in a minute I'll pop down to the beach and get a time lapse going of the sunrise. I slept very well. I was in the bivvy by about 10 and asleep by about 10:30, and I pretty much slept all the way through apart from once having to answer the call of nature. Not far to go today, so let's go and enjoy this sunrise and then get on the move.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed that sunrise whilst having my breakfast over here in the bivvy. It's time now to get packed up and get on the move. All right, Deal, here we come. Still pretty sunny. There are some gnarly looking clouds though in the sky. Let's hope we don't get rained on before we get there. Right guys, I promise you I did not write this myself. I've just seen this here. That's bizarre. What I love about this beach, guys, is that it's not exactly, you know, the most amazing beach ever. It's not pure white sands, it's not the Caribbean, but it's so far away from car parks and train stations, and it's inaccessible, which means it hasn't been ruined by humans crapping all over the place. There's no litter anywhere, there's no shopping trolleys, car tyres, no rubbish at all. It just feels untouched. really clean. And then of course there's a historical side of it as well, with Richburg Green just up the roads and the Romans landing here, and the geographical context and everything as well. It's really cool. As you can hear, the breeze has got up a bit. It's certainly fresh, doing a good job of keeping me awake. So I've just come down onto the road because the beach was just shingle, and it's hard work just walking on shingle. First time I've seen for a while a Saxon Shoreway footpath. So this must have been the old Saxon shore, and all of this was the shoreline. This is all underwater. Pretty cool. Sure is a wealthy area around here. Houses by the sea. Even got a little rainbow, look at that. Private estate, okay. I'm not sure if that means pedestrians as well. It didn't specify. It's a bit over the top, isn't it? This house has got a sentry box. Not much to report currently, folks. There's no sign of rain, so I think the forecast got it wrong. There's a surprise. Walking alongside the golf course, they've got these weird contraptions that I think are resetting the turf somehow, flattening the turf. I don't know. I don't know much about golf, but I do know that Sandwich Bay is meant to be a very prestigious golf course. We're not far from Deal now. We should be there within an hour. And that will conclude the penultimate part of the Kent Coast hike. Alright folks, sorry about the wind noise. We've almost made it to the end of Sandwich Bay. Ramsgate is miles and miles off in the distance now. And unless I'm mistaken, just around the corner is where we arrive into Deal. Let's have a look. Deal or no deal? And there she is, Deal Pier. So this place apparently is Sandown Castle, not that I've ever heard of it before. Folks, that's the end of another video. We're here at Deal Pier. Unfortunately you can't go on the pier just yet, it's not open, too early in the morning. The next video we're going to be heading further south towards Dover. It's going to be the last video, but I think it's also going to be the best. We're going to be heading over to White Cliffs, we're going to be going past Dover Castle, the English Channel. It's going to be great. Thank you very much for watching again. It's been another brilliant hike and camp. I'll see you next time.